Hi, I'm Shreya and this is Decoding Code. In this video, we will be creating our own class. But why would we even want to create our own class? Well, if the Java class, like a Java class like Scanner, doesn't have the certain functions for you, then you can create your own class and create your own functions that might be more complex or just kind of specified towards your project and whatever you're trying to do. So that's what we'll be focusing on today. And you can see all this code and it'll be very fun. So how do we create our custom class? So first of all, we don't need our kind of like gateway to our code, the main, because, well, we aren't executing anything in this part of the code. We're just creating our class. So that we will execute it in a different class, and that class will be where we are actually using the functions that we are making in this class. First of all, we need to do our kind of inputs. So the inputs into this, whatever you will need for your functions, are here in the beginning. So I will be creating functions which are name, month, day, day end, and category. So mine are for storms. So it's the storm's name, the month in which it occurred, the first day of the storm, the last day of the storm, and then the category of the storm. So these are the inputs that I'll be taking into my code. I won't be using all of them for the functions, but just know that you can use all of these for whatever you would want and put even more. So we'll skip this for right now because I'll get back to it. But here we have get and set. So I have these for all of the inputs because it's getting them and then setting them. So these are just the basic kind of functions that you would want, and how you get this is you don't have to type all of these out. You basically just right click and then go to source and then generate getters and setters. And so that'll give you, and then you select your inputs, and then it'll give you the getters and setters for all of your inputs right here. So now let's go to making your function. So you can do a whole lot of stuff with your functions and specify it towards the project that you're trying to create. And so I wanted to get the length of the storm, so how long it lasted. So what that would be is the last day minus the first day. I would just say public and then integer, and then the name of my kind of function, and then return day end minus day, because that's the last day minus the first day. And so that would give me get length. So whenever I want to use it, I would just have to say the variable dot get length, and then it'll do this with the storm. So now let's go back to what I said we would get back to. Constructors are basically if you decide if you want the inputs in your object, which is storms. You could have an empty constructor, which is just the default constructor, and this would just mean that you wouldn't have the inputs into storms. So you would not have that much that you could do, but you would have to set all of your kind of inputs into it, and then that would be like a huge hassle that you wouldn't really want. By using the constructor, you can put in your inputs into the object storms. Alright, so the default format that Java has is right here. I have it here, and this is for the Hurricane Ike. And so you can see that it has kind of a lot of lines, but this is what we are going to get. So Katrina and Irene, this is what we're going to get. What we're going to do is public and then storms. So then we would put all of our inputs in here, and you can see that. And then this dot, and then whatever you wanted to format like that. So basically this dot is mine. So alright, let's go back to computer memory. So when you create this kind of attribute of your storm, then your computer is storing it in the memory. And then it's kind of like a blank space in the memory that's waiting to be filled. When you just type in and fill in the blank with your computer's memory, it doesn't really know that you're filling in that particular variable. So you have to tell it. So this is basically saying that my name, the one that I'm typing in, is equal to the one in your memory. So then whenever I type it in, and whenever I put in the blanks and fill in the blanks in your memory, then it'll put it in its memory and actually fill in the blanks. So the default format, if you wanted to get the default format, then you would just say public storms and then leave it all blank. But if you didn't have your own format, then you wouldn't even have to put this, and it'll just default to the default format. This is where we're going to actually use the functions and things that we've just created. So for this one, you will need the main, because we will be executing the code here, and this is the actual code. So this is my my format that I just did here. Here. And then this is the default format. And so basically it's just storms and then the name of the storm, and then equals new storms, which is basically type, and then identifier equals new type. And then we put in our data, and remember it does have to be in order because otherwise it wouldn't know what's happening, so it would have to be in the order that you put it. And here, yeah. So I've done 3 of the storms. I just kind of randomly picked them. And then I'm using the function that I just created, the getLength function. So I'm just printing hurricane, the name of the hurricane, lasted however long it lasted, days. And then you can see when I run it, we have the actual days, and it is very kind of efficient. So using the function is pretty efficient, because if you wanted to do the same thing kind of multiple times, then you wouldn't have to type out the same thing over and over again, and it's just easier to use. And yeah, so you can do a whole lot with this. You can make it very specific, you can make it very complex, you can do complex functions with it. You can actually do a lot with your classes, and that will be super fun to play with on your own. I really hope you liked this video. In my next video, we will actually be creating multiple classes, getting to know it better, getting to kind of experience it more and playing around with it a lot more. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content, and comment down below any feedback or questions you guys might have for me. I will see you again next week with that new video. Bye!